But on the topic of clubs, have you guys done? I understand that you haven't done much to the actual game, like features and things of clubs, which is understandable. You have to weigh it up and
Yeah.
decide where you're gonna focus on in a game. But as far as clubs, have you decided to improve the other players? Like there was people worked as an any, and then you had your players. So were those any players, if that makes any sense, better than they were in FIFA 11? Because people were really frustrated with how poor the players were that
Yeah.
weren't virtual pros, I guess.
So I think I know what you mean, and that's the players that are running around under CPU control when you're not, if you see what I mean. The relative intelligence of those guys on the pitch, right? That's what you mean. So yes is the answer to that. And in fact, it was just I was going to say not that long ago. It was actually quite a while ago now. But I remember there was a bit of excitement in the office because we'd actually figured out what that was. Aware of the fact that these people were running around, with an IQ of 3.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a very deep thing that I couldn't possibly go into what the technical details are because I ain't
That's
clever
fine.
enough.
Yeah.
But figured it out, got it fixed.
Sorted. Right.
Should be a lot better. Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess that's really good, because a lot of people found a big frustration with trying to play as any and just completely falling over their own feet at the same time. So that's pretty good. Now, I understand that there's been a lot of problems with people rage quitting, and in Ultimate Team, they obviously their DNF went down. But in general, what's the way you guys plan to combat quitters in Ultimate Team or just in general in the entire game?
So I'll just talk generally around that stuff. It's an issue that's really hard to solve because it's fundamentally it's an issue with human nature rather than stuff that you can code into the game, if you see what I mean. It doesn't really matter what you do or how punitive the punishments are that you hand out or whatever. People will still cheat. That's just what they do. Especially when you've got a game like FIFA, which has been played by so many people. The chances, therefore, of you coming across people who are going to attempt to exploit the game or cheat or do whatever, is that much higher. So what's been done is a design decision rather than anything else, and that comes in the form of our head-to-head seasons stuff, which you may have read about.
Yeah.
It is great, by the way. I've been playing it. We're all playing. We've all got our own little online friendlies and stuff going on here. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It is cool. What that online season stuff does, though, is it focuses your mind as a player much more on the result that you're going to get out of that game, because there are 10 games, and the results that you get out of that game will determine whether you go up a division or you go down a division. And as you go up divisions, that gets tougher and tougher and tighter in terms of reaching that point threshold that will push you up to the top level. Ultimately, obviously, the goal is to end a season at the top of the Division 1, and therefore you've won. But because you've got these segments of game time, if you like, you've got 10 games, you've got to get the points you need. If someone quits out, assuming everything works as the way it's been designed, that guy will get a loss. He won't get any points. He will move closer towards relegation. And that will happen because 10 games isn't very many, especially for people who cheat, because people who cheat are people who play a lot.
Shame on you.
Yeah, well, there's that as well. But these are guys that play a lot, because only if you play a lot are you going to be motivated to cheat, because for some reason it matters to you where you are on the leaderboards and all that sort of stuff. It will matter a lot more to them when they quit because of seasons. It means that if they do that once or twice in quick succession, they'll probably not get promoted, and they may very well get relegated. And so hopefully the motivational factor for someone doing that cheating, previously it was just one great big leaderboard, and
you could easily ignore it.
Yeah, if you did it more often than not, then hey, you might have been able to perceive an advantage in doing that. This time the advantage won't be there, and there'll be a big disadvantage to it, just in terms of the way this season stuff is designed. So it should, we don't know exactly how well that will work, but we're hoping that we can manipulate human nature enough to create a generally a much better culture in terms of that competitive play online. If that makes any sense. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It does. Yeah, it certainly does. So, so now that the whole quitting thing has kind of been sorted out, I don't know if you can say this about Ultimate Team, but it was like DNF was taken down. You lost the coins or anything, but and it was more of the fact that there was a lot of situations where I don't know whether it was a glitch or anything, but you would. So say the other person quit, you wouldn't get a win. Randomly, you sometimes might get a loss even, but usually nothing would change. But you would lose your contracts, you would lose fitness, all that sort of stuff. So I'm just wondering whether small things like that have been kind of tweaked and changed to fix those sort of glitchy bits, I guess.
Yeah, and I totally recognise that, and I know that the Ultimate Team guys recognise that as well. The truth is, though, I don't know. I can't give you a proper, accurate answer on that just because I do not have that information in my brain. However, what I will say, though, is that we're just planning this at the moment. We're going to try and do a thing on Twitter where we get the Ultimate Team producers on our Twitter account, the EA Sports FIFA one.
Yeah.
And we're going to do a live Q&A type thing. So they're the guys that do have the information in their brains. And when that happens, that'll happen sometime over the next few days, maybe a week or so. And we'll let you know when that's going to happen. And that's definitely the time when
everyone
asking questions like that.
Those sort of questions, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Because obviously we don't want to hold anything back. And we're trying to be totally honest and transparent about everything as far as we can be. And where things haven't changed in that regard, we'll let you know. But hopefully they'll have positive answers for you on that. I just don't have them myself.
All right, that's fine. So if you guys are interested in that, the link to the EA Sports FIFA Twitter will be in the description, and he said in the coming week or so. So just stay tuned for that. If you're not following them, then that's in the description for you to follow. But now a lot of I'm part of the YouTube scene, I guess you could say, and a lot of the people that play FIFA are skill players. And we recently a video, was it today or yesterday? A video dropped of just all the new skills and things, which all looked great. But do you have this sort of in your brain of if there's an increase in 5-star skill players in FIFA 12, or has it become more of a rarity, or has it stayed the same sort of numbers?
Yeah, you're dredging the bottom of my brain again there a little bit. But so just for a bit of context, the relative skill levels of different players in the game is determined by a group within EA called the Data Collection Group. You may be familiar with that or not, I don't know.
I'm
but
part of a bit of it anyways.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So a lot of people are. We've got a lot of people around the world who are either data reviewers or editors. So that's probably what you're a part of.
Uh-huh.
And people are looking at either specific leagues or specific teams. All that data comes in, and that's how we assess the relative attributes and skills of those players. So who ends up being the 5-star skill players is determined largely by that. And that doesn't actually get finalised in the game until the very last moment.
Yeah.
It's basically the last thing that goes in the game, because obviously we want it to be
up
as
to date as possible when it first comes out.
Yeah, exactly. So that's part of the reason I can't answer your question. However, I think generally speaking, it's going to be proportionally pretty similar to FIFA 11, I think.
Okay.
Don't take my word for that. And I can't give you specifics. I can't tell you who's gone up from 4 to 5 or down. I just don't have that sort of information. But ultimately, the message is you'll just have to wait and see, because honestly, we probably won't know until just before the game ships.
All right, that's fine. On a side note, one of my Twitter followers just asked, will Jamie Carragher be 5-star skills? So, as much as we wish he was, I'm not too sure.
As a Liverpool fan, I'd love it. He can't have that long left on the pitch, and it would be a nice swan song, but I doubt it somehow.
Maybe for one day you could maybe just treat the Liverpool fans to a
you never know.
5-star.
Maybe in Ultimate Team, obviously, we can change that stuff all the time. Maybe they'll do a treat as a testimonial.